Hey everyone, Brian Castro with Call Castro and eXp Realty here. So, in the last episode, we talked about getting the offer accepted and all the paperwork involved with that. And now that we're done, it's immediately after we got the offer accepted. What do we do? Well, step one, we need to get an inspector in there right away. The inspection is the most important part of buying a home. You need a great inspector. This is something you should not cheap out on. This is something you should not skip. This is so critical and important to buying your home. So, what's going to happen is we're going to schedule this inspection, hopefully as soon as possible, if we can, the same week, right? And then typically, I want the buyer there with myself and the inspector, all three of us. No third parties. Okay. Only the buyer, the inspector, and the agent. It's really important. And we're going to go through this house inch by inch. We're going to look through the crawl space, every single outlet, every single leaky pipe, every single thing that could possibly be wrong or right with this house. We're going to go through it and we're going to find as much as we can that is right or wrong about the property. Typically, this process takes about 3 hours. So you're going to have to take some time off work or do it on a weekend or when you're off work. But it is so critical that you get this done. And when it's done, we're going to have a list of an overwhelming number of things that are wrong with this house, right? But most of them are minor. And that's going to be the biggest thing to remember here is that this list is going to look really intimidating, but it's not going to be as bad as it looks. And you're going to need to talk with your realtor and with your inspector about the list once it's done. And there might be some big things. Maybe the roof leaks. Maybe the house needs a new roof completely. And there's going to be really, really minor things like um, maybe what is some of the most minor things? Most minor and common things are going to be like ungrounded outlets, or mostly that's going to be the most common thing. No smoke detectors. Maybe they need a carbon monoxide alarm. Maybe the water heater doesn't have a strap. And there's going to be a lot of those minor things that show up that really aren't a big deal. So, why is the inspection so important? Well, first of all, uh, you need to know if you even still want the house, because sometimes it'll be so messed up you don't even want it anymore, and that happens. But the inspection outside that is going to be critical to getting stuff fixed and getting you a good deal on the home. So, for example, let's say we did an inspection, and we found that this is a real thing that happened to me, that the crawl space was not dug out enough, and there was no way to access underneath the house. Well, now we've got to do an inspection response. And in your inspection response, you're going to write down all of the things that you want the seller to fix if you want the house. Or you're going to write for a price reduction and why. So, for example, say we bought the house for $205,000, and we said, you know what? We did the inspection, we love the house, but this thing is messed up. The furnace is fried. So, we would either like you to put in a new furnace or take $15,000 off the price. That inspection very often will pay for itself. It will get you more in repairs for the house than the inspection actually costed. And we're going to give that inspection response to the other party. And we're going to inspect not just the home, but if you're rural, we're going to inspect the well and we're going to inspect the septic. And we're going to make sure that all of this stuff is good. If it's an older house, we're going to potentially, optionally, ideally you do it, check for asbestos, and we're going to check for lead, paint, and other lead stuff in the house. That's all part of your inspection period. It's only 10 days long. So we have to get started right away, and we have to be very thorough. And we need good inspectors because, again, nothing's worse than getting a home inspection done by someone that does a crummy job and maybe they miss something really important. What a nightmare. right? That can just be a complete disaster. You have to have the really good inspectors out. And again, I'm going to go back to one of our first recurring themes here. How do you find a good inspector? Talk to your realtor. Your realtor's had a lot of inspections done, right? He knows who's good, he knows who's bad, he knows who's quick. Ask your realtor who the best inspector in town is. Who do they recommend? Again, most realtors are going to recommend 3. Talk to all 3, figure out which one you like. Maybe figure out which one has higher Google reviews, Zillow reviews, right? Do they do Zillow for inspectors? I don't think so. Google reviews and Yelp reviews, stick to those. And really get the inspection done. It's absolutely important. It's the cornerstone, in my opinion, of buying a home. So that's our next step. Get the inspection done. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, I always do that. Call Castro. It's on. You'd think I could feel it so that I know where it is every time, but the problem is it's reversed on the camera. So my right hand is not my right hand on that. So it's, anyways. Questions, comments, or concerns, callcastro.com. Look forward to seeing you guys the next one.